Larry Lee Trimble did 3 tours in Vietnam, first with the 101st Airborne in 1965, second with MACV-SOG, and third tour Larry was training Cambodians. This film is about Larry's military life, especially his time with the Military Assistance Command Vietnam Studies and Observations Group MACV-SOG, which was a highly classified, multi-service United States Special Operations Unit, which conducted covert unconventional warfare operations prior to and during the Vietnam War. Larry was present at FOB-4 on August 23, 1968, and was positioned on Marble Mountain overwatch position next to FOB-4 Da Nang. That night 16 Special Forces men were killed by a large sapper element. Many more would have been lost if not for the courageous action that Larry Trimble displayed. To see the full interview regarding August 23, 1968, please go to my YouTube channel at SpecialOpsGP.
It's a little hot out there, so I just got a Tiger beer. It's our favorite beer while we're in Vietnam. It's between maybe a Coors and a Budweiser, but it's very refreshing. Cheers. Yeah, it might look a little ragged because we've been nonstop so yeah, we did a lot this trip, and I would like everyone to just watch all of our episodes, tell us what you think, give us a like, share it. We're always trying to make new videos, so any donations would be great. It all goes to me going around the country, interviewing SOG personnel like Larry. Hi, I'm Bruce Christensen with the History of MACV-SOG.
Larry Trimble, worked in SOG.
And Rob Graham, working with Savage Game Design.
We're here in the beautiful city of Ho Chi Minh City, Saigon. We're here filming Larry Trimble's experience in Vietnam when he was attached to a top secret organization, MACV-SOG. But today, we were talking about one aspect of his career in the military, his time with the 101st Airborne. That was his first tour with 101st in Vietnam, 1965. Thank you, Larry, for letting us interview you here. So Larry, could you get to let us know, and the audience let us know, how you got into the 101st Airborne?
Yeah, I came to service in 1956. Joined the Airborne right away as soon as I could. You went through basic, and then joined went into Germany, went to the 11th Airborne Division. From there, after 3 years, I went to the 101st when I transferred back to the States, and got assigned to 327 Infantry, and stayed there up till the time we went to Vietnam.
And where was that located at?
Fort Campbell, Kentucky.
Did you like Fort Campbell?
Yeah, it's a nice post. I was back there not that long ago. In fact, probably about a year ago, we went back for the, what do they call that week? There's a week, you know what they have?
Legion Week.
Yeah, Legion Week, where they get everybody together. Hadn't changed a bit, still Fort Campbell. Very nice, you know. But got assigned there. We got alerted, not for Vietnam, but just alerted we almost knew where we was going at the time. You know, there was a lot of friction, a lot of talking going on about Vietnam. So we had, I think, 2 or 3 weeks to prepare, take our families, get them settled down and stuff. And once we all got back together, they gave us a time period on it. And then we took aircraft out of Fort Campbell, Kentucky to San Francisco, and loaded on a troop ship there. It was General Leroy L. Tinge. They took it out of mothballs for that purpose. We was not told where we was going as of yet.
So a lot of times, Walter Cronkite would get on the news and say, the 7th Cavalry has been activated and are going to Vietnam. I remember those, he would tell which units are going. That didn't happen with you guys?
Not really.
Okay, so you didn't hear nothing about it?
We didn't, we knew where we was going, but yet it was still classified, I guess, as much as letting the civilians, the news media know about it. And I think that happened about midway, halfway across the Pacific.
So you went by ship, and when I see these old movies about troops going across to the Pacific or going to Europe, they're $7 high, and there's just crammed full of people. Was it like that?
No, no, it was it looked like a battleship to me, you know, from the old time, World War II. They took it out of mothballs, and everything was mostly below deck. You know, all the troops, they let us out once a day, early in the morning.
And how many guys were on board?
There was up to, including the attachments, 3,600 people.
Wow. And what you do to spend your time on the ship?
Try to stay cool, but they did, USO went and had games, you know, we played different games, board games, stuff like that. They let us out where we could cool off a little bit, you know, early in the morning, and they could clean up downstairs, you know, and stuff, but.
Did you guys do PT on deck?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. It was, even up on deck, you was elbow to elbow almost, you couldn't do too much, you know.
And how long did it take you to go from California to Vietnam?
21 days.
21 days, wow.
We, of course, broke down one time, drifted back across the international date line, and they get our crank back up, so that was a big thing then, crossing the international date line 2 times, no going 1 time. And then we stopped in the Philippines just for 1 day, give everybody a fast break off the boat that they could get off and back on it wanted to, you know.
Can I ask, when were you issued weapons?
We carried our personal weapons, or not personal, but our own assigned weapons from Fort Campbell all the way. Only thing we didn't like was ammo, and we got that assigned whenever we got into Cameron Bay.
And did you have an M14 or an M16?
M14 was with the Marines, and we had just been assigned the M16s.
Okay, brand new, huh?
And quite a new weapon, better weapon than that old M14, you know, that the Marines used. But I think it was better to have that M16, saved a lot of lives, have full automatic and everything.
And before you embarked on the ship, had you trained on the M16 already?
Yes, yes. Yeah, we had, I don't remember how long we did actually, Rob, have the M16s, but we had already started using them. And
So in the Philippines, you were let off the ship for how long?
maybe 15 minutes.
That's it, huh?
It's just enough for them to bring us in, let us off, kind of stretch our legs. It would go back out to the ship, another load, you know, and just make it around robin. I think there was like 2 boats, you know, that would do that, small aircraft or boats.
So the Philippines, you went where?
From the Philippines, we went straight into Cameron Bay.
And how'd you like Cameron Bay?
Didn't see much of it. The time there was just hardly a few buildings and everything. Then there was a bridge across the bay there. And where Cameron Bay ended up being so large area, you know, there was a bridge going across right there, which was rebuilt. But
That was a Navy area eventually, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it expanded during the war.
yeah, it did. It expanded really big then.
And so when you're off ship and where did you guys go?
We first, after we debarked and got off the ship, we walked across the bay towards Dong Batin, and we just camped up. There's a lot of woods, and we just set up in that woods until we got our further orders to move forward. We was there for about a day or so. It wasn't very long till we moved out.
How'd you set up? Pup tents or?
No, just we did take our bed bros with us. We were still using that horseshoe, and they changed that real fast. But most people, you know, after just a short period there, we got rid of them darn things. You know, they're too bulky and heavy to carry. So we moved probably, I would say, a half day of travel into a different location and set up until we got our further orders and headed out. We headed north, you know, first, and become known as the nomads of Vietnam, you know, the 101st did. And
so that was we looked at that today, July 26, 1965.
I think it was that around that time. You looked it up, and I couldn't remember what year it was, whether it was 65 or 66. It was
65,
yeah.
early in the event, yeah.
We moved up our first actual. We had, at nighttime there was, probably VC coming around, shooting. We had not encountered any North Vietnamese yet, our real fighting groups, and just most of them Viet Cong. And we moved up. The first real contact we made was up in where the first cav come in, I believe it was on Kai. I can't remember, but we went up and cleared that area for them guys, and till they come in and set up a huge perimeter, because they brung them guys in on aircraft. We was actually, the 101st was the first division into the area. The 173rd had jumped in, or not jumped in, but they was there right, probably maybe 6 months before we went in. As just an advanced task force, And I think, though, that they made a training jump, and I think they tried to call it a combat jump, but it was a training jump over there. And then most of the guys stayed there and transferred into one of the larger units. I remember that.
Yeah, Lynn Black was in the first unit of the 173rd.
The 173rd, yeah. Now, the 173rd is a good outfit. I always thought a lot of it,
The herd,
troops.
yeah. Or they called them Westmoreland's bastards.
Yeah.
Those guys got hit hard
Yeah.
in one engagement. And the sad part is, unlike WW2, they told the 173rd take this objective, which was a hill. They got ambushed. They were able to bring some more troops in and finally kind of clear it out. They stayed on the hill for 3 days, then they left.
Yeah.
And then another time later on, they told the 173rd go take this other hill. The same thing happened to them. And they stayed up a couple of days and they left.
Yeah.
Unlike I was saying, you push forward, keep going, But yeah. But that's off topic. So did you have an actual 101st base?
Not until probably 2 months, 3 months later, went into Phan Rang area, and they built a base camp there actually, and that became their main location. And then they moved out troops, to different operations from that location.
And so you were building it there for a while?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
actually, that was when I went back over. It was still at that location. The 101st.
so during where you built it there, what events did you guys do? What was a normal day with you guys, 101st?
Probably staying under the shade in them tents, we wasn't acclimatized like yesterday, maybe, And once again, I guess I could call it the USO. It didn't show it up that, but they had games, everything. I even set up I remember I played a lot of horseshoes and stuff like that, just for relaxation, but yet keeping moving, instead of just laying around.
You said you had a theater there?
They did have movies at night. It was like the outdoor movie theater. But we sat on the ground, of course, and that's where that snake popped through there one night. And everybody moved out pretty quick. There was a big snake come through there, and everybody's hollering, snake, snake. So it was everybody's tromping each other, But, our time stayed very active, I think, around there. They try to keep things going for the people, too, because of that itself.
And how often do you had to pull guard duty?
I don't even remember the guard duty. I do remember that we had a bunch of Farvins, the Vietnamese, come in, but they didn't do this. Most of it just security at kind of the main gates and stuff that they'd set up. When we got there, they were still clearing the air, and we had a bunch of Vietnamese out there, cutting down the brush and stuff to get set up. And Bruce, I can't remember it seems to me, I never did pole guard, so I don't really know how many guys.
Did you guys ever take incoming rounds?
Not at that location, never. And we moved from that location, most of us anyway, we moved up into the mountains, and that's where we really become the nomads. You know, we just kind of made our way from the south, going north and around, you know, and clearing areas. And
Can I ask about transport, Larry? So were you going on trucks or being picked up by helicopter, or was the whole thing on foot?
No, we was going by trucks, and there was some people moving. It depended. We had clearings on our side, so we had some troops, you know, and they would take turns clearing the area, you know, along. There'd every once in a while be a pop shot, you know, somebody would do a pop shot or something like that, and sort of whiz off the trucks. And
Okay, how many people were in the squads when you were making clearing runs?
normally they run by the regular companies that they would send. They would assign a company to each area. Companies was broke down to platoons, and there's also, you know, you had 3 rifle squad or platoons, and then you'd have 1 weapons platoon, and they had the 81 mortar, you know, and they would still follow up, you know, in the trucks with the weapons squad, you know, our platoon area, and that way, you know, if we run into anything where they needed, all they had to do to call, and they could lob it in there, you know, try to clear an area. We would rotate also, people, some riding on the trucks and some clearing. We was in a lot of brush and a lot of stuff, you know, a lot of entanglement. I would have said we're so close to probably Cambodia and Laos, that same coverage of stuff, you know.
So it was jungle?
Just jungle, yeah.
Triple canopy, double canopy?
I would say most of it's probably double.
Okay.
More of it there was, you know, triple, of course, but more of it there's clearings that you go through. And,
Did you have any major engagements?
not during the day, but we did got hit real bad one night. I can't remember the time, but they hit an artillery outfit that had the 105 Housers, and I might have mentioned that to you. You know, that new 105 was on a swivel, and they would jack up the wheels on it and then hammer it down. And I understand that they wanted to steal one of them, I guess, to find out how to operate it, but they couldn't get it under a firefight, you know, and also trying to find out how you roll the damn thing, you know. So, and shortly after that, I rotated back to the States, you know.
So did you have any best friends when you were at 101st?
Huh?
Did you have any best friends?
Guys you talk to, but not best friends.
Okay.
You try to stay, I learned to try to stay away from that, and very early. I think most guys learned that really early, you know, don't make close friends, you know.
In your company, how many guys did you lose while you were there?
Not hardly any, but that even made it harder, you know. You'd know the guys, but, you know, of course, it was always right at the beginning kind of hard to understand fighting if you'd never been in combat before. I remember that as, you know, itself. Just wondering if you was going to be hit. You didn't have close friends. And as time went by, the guys got closer, I think. But I never did have real close friends.
And what was your funniest story while you were attached to 101st in Vietnam?
I can't really.
Okay, nothing funny happened?
No.
No antics or anything?
Yeah.
No, nothing like SOG, right?
Nothing like SOG. And from there, then we all flew back, you know, as we departed, you know, and rotation was, of course, 12 months, you know, into that area.
How many days in country were you in Vietnam with 101st?
How many days?
How many days total?
It was a year.
A complete year.
That's the way they set guys up. If he was back in the States and he was close to rotation or to get out of the service, that's what happened, you know. So everybody had a different, by that time decided to have a career in the service, and I had the full year because I didn't have an enlistment coming up in at the time.
So when you're about to rotate out of the country, what was your rank?
Was E6 whenever I rotated out.
Is that a staff sergeant?
Yeah. I don't know. I was made E5 in Germany, and then as I got back, I got actually, I made E6 right shortly after I got to Fort Campbell the first time, and so I was an E6 whenever actually over on the boat.
Did you have your own squad? Did you have your own squad?
Yeah.
Okay. How many people in your squad?
You had 2 fire teams in a squad, and it was broke down. You had 4 squads in a platoon, and then now you're asking me a hard question. I ain't gonna be able to answer that. Can't remember.
Did you like your squad? Were they disciplined?
Yeah.
Okay.
And normally you have pretty good guys. They follow attention to you, and so yeah, I like them guys pretty well, and they liked me. So there was times you had to kick them in the ass. You know, and that's just normal. You know, guys start dragging, they start getting scared, and when they get scared, then they start worrying about other things. And I found out one thing when I first went over there: you don't think. You just react on everything you do. You know, whenever you move, try not to think of home or anything else. You know, it's bad news whenever you do. You know.
Did you encounter a lot of booby traps patrolling?
Oh no, there was patrols out. They tried to clear everything they could. You know, in front of the main branch coming through. So they'd send out small ones. You know, just a reconnaissance type. Also, out clearing anything like that. There's also looking possibly traps of, you know, getting hit. No. But that, I rotated back, I don't remember, it was up in the mountains when I rotated back to the States from the 101st.
So when it was your turn to rotate, they'd come in by chopper, pick you up, and take you?
I think we took trucks, you know, back down to Maine, and there was some areas that I'm sure they had to, you know, chopper the guys out, but most of the time we'd go back and they'd have security driving down the roads for us.
Now, did you stay in country for a few days before you went home, or how'd that work?
Ended up going out of Cameron Bay is where they had set up, you know, to fly the aircraft out of. I think I was there maybe 2 days before, you know, all the troops that was rotating.
So from the war zone back to the States, in how long?
Flying.
Yeah, but how long? From being in the war zone in Vietnam back to the United States, how many days do you think that was? So Cameron Bay, Philippines, home?
I'm going to say probably a good 30 days.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Yeah.
they had a lot of troops rotating, you know, and everything. So they had aircraft going constantly. And I don't remember how they selected, you know, whether they went by the alphabet on names or just how they did that. But it would, from movement, from combat or from the field, back to Cameron, and then getting the aircraft, totally probably about, I'm going to say 15 to 30 days.
Okay.
We stopped in between, you know, that's why I
Yeah.
threw in an extra time period, you know.
Yeah. Well, some time to decompress.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
So you got back to the States, stayed in 101st till how long?
About 3 months. And they had a special forces guy come up, you know, they was looking for volunteers. And I seen that, and I said, that's where I want to go. I want to get out of the conventional units. I don't like them, you know. When I say I don't like them, I would rather have been, you know, I just thought that'd be the place to be. And so it was probably about 3 or 4 months. I was on my way to Fort Bragg.
Okay.
You know, they had a guy come up to Fort Campbell and ask them for volunteers. And then that was right after I got back, and that's when I went into Special Forces. And they selected, after you got your Green Beret, then they assigned you in advance, and I was on the list back to Vietnam.
Oh, well.
And
So,
Were you an E7 by then?
no, I got E7 at SOG, probably there about 3 months. And then after that, I got E7.
okay.
I'm trying to remember, was that before? I was still E6 whenever August 23rd happened. And right after that, I got promoted to 7.
Any other questions about a 101st Airborne experience?
What was your opinion of the Viet Cong as a fighting force at the time? Did you get into engagements with them, and were they sort of shooting and scooting, or did you ever have any? Did they ever try and stand and fight or ambush?
I would say they were very good soldiers. Of course, still being young in the 101st, you're over there, you're fighting somebody. I think we all feel like we're about 5 years old, you know. And so I would say I respected them. I didn't actually realize at the time, Rob, that it was respect. But as time went, I did respect our enemy very highly, you know. Not to say that I liked them very well, because, you know, we did have a few of the guys, you know, didn't make it back at that time, right at the beginning, but very few until the heavy fighting really started. And by the time I was ready to head back, I think we had that just one engagement, a real heavy fight up there. And it didn't last long, you know. And then the rest of the fighting was just sporadic, you know, throughout. Stuff.
Okay, so this concludes the interview with Larry Trimble, aka Gambler, regarding his 101st Airborne experience in Vietnam. Stay tuned for our other segments regarding his time in MACV-SOG and his time training Cambodian soldiers. Thank you much, and please check out our other YouTube channels and our other videos online. Bruce Christensen here from the History of MACV-SOG, www.sogsite.com. Here we are in Da Nang, Marble Mountain, and what we're doing here today is filming, starting to rain, yeah, very nice, filming Larry and Sean's return to Marble Mountain here. This journey started a couple years ago. I was pestering Larry to come to Vietnam, return to Vietnam type of trip, and finally Larry agreed, which is great. At that point in time, then we had to look for sponsors to assist Larry coming to Vietnam with a 2-week trip, and it is coming up. And so glad it's waterproof. So we're going to go around. Again, I introduced myself, so we have Marianne. Go ahead, Marianne.
Hi, I'm Marianne.
I am Larry Trimble. I'm very fortunate to come up here and back on Marble Mountain after 5 years.
I am a son who of the Idaho.
I'm Hayden. I'm one of the programmers or encoders at Savage Game Design.
And also Hayden is our main drone photographer here. Does some excellent work. If you want to see some mad flying skills, watch his drones. Footage.
Good. And I'm Rob Graham from Team Savage Game Design, supporting Team Gambler, Team Idaho, Team Rattler, Team Asp. And we're here today, and it's been a really emotional time for us all, and sharing some stories. A lot of brotherly love between you guys, and just really happy to be here. So.
And again, I want to thank Rob Graham and Savage Games for sponsoring Larry to come to Vietnam, and it's very generous of your company to do this, and you as well.
It's a team effort, Bruce. So it's our team to your team.
And I'd like to thank all of you for being here. It's a great occasion, not only here today, but in Vietnam.